come to discuss the miracles of the King, Jesus of Nazareth.
Good morning, DayBreak. My name is Wagenvoort, and I am the Interim Children's Ministry Coordinator here. Thank you so much for tuning into the video this Sunday. And yeah, it's about time that we jumped into our story for this Sunday. So, our story today takes a look at John chapter 2, verses 1 to 2. This is a very special one because this is Jesus's first miracle. We are taking a turn from parables to miracles, as it were. Now, one day, Jesus' mother, Mary, was at a wedding feast, a beautiful feast with music from lands far away from a long time ago, in the land of Cana. Jesus and his disciples were there too. And when the wine was all gone, now, here's something super cool to know about wedding parties back in the day, is that they weren't just like an afternoon or an evening up until bedtime, like the weddings we go to now, or even like birthday parties where there's like a night over, and that's pretty cool because you get your friends, you stay over, at least we used to. Nowadays it's different, but that's just the way it is. Way back when, people would go a whole week for one celebration. So you needed a lot of supplies, and that means a lot of wine. And you would always start with the best you had. And then as everyone keeps going, you get the cheaper stuff and the cheapest stuff and then no stuff because it's the seventh day and it's about time everybody headed home. But Jesus was with his mom, and Mary told Jesus, they do not have any more wine. And Jesus replied, what does this have to do with me? My time has not yet come. Now, when Jesus said that, he meant that it was not yet time for him to be glorified, for him to be lifted high, or to be worshipped. Jesus knew what was best. So Mary said to his servants, do whatever he tells you to do. Now, sometimes when you're hanging out with your mother and she gives you an idea, she's just like, oh, you should do this. Sometimes we don't want to. But what does mother do? Our moms are going to keep doing that and push us into it. And that's okay, because sometimes it is better for us to listen to our moms. I think this is one of those scenarios Jesus finds himself in. Now, there were 6 stone jars at the feast for religious washing. So you would wash your hands and wash your feet with the water from these massive jars. And each jar held about 20 to 30 gallons of water. And Jesus told the servants to fill these jars with the water. The servant filled the jars to the top. And then Jesus said, now take some of the water out and give it to the man in charge of the feast. So they do that. They take some of the water out and they give this cup to the head of the feast. And the man in charge tasted the water. But didn't taste like water. It had been turned into wine. The man did not know where the wine had come from, but the servants knew. And he called to the groom, and he said, "Usually, the best wine is served first. Then, after the guests had had enough, the other wine is served. But you, dear groom, have kept the best wine for last." And this was the first of Jesus' miracles. And he did it in Cana, which is Galilee. And this miracle showed Jesus' glory. And his disciples at the time believed in him. And after this, Jesus would go on to Capernaum with his mother, his brothers, and his disciples. And they stayed in Capernaum for a few days. Now, Jesus performed miracles to help people believe that he is the Messiah, the Son of God. And Jesus had power over everything. And those who believed in him will have eternal life. Well, that about does it for today's story. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this Sunday. Stay tuned for 10:30. We have something special for you for this Sunday's service, so we hope to see you there. As always, happy Sunday, everyone.